Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Hello. Happy
Why am I
A.M.O.K
muted?
Day.
Birthday.
What? You're not muted? I can hear you.
Oh, I was. It said Mike was
Yeah, I
muted.
can. No,
Why?
we heard you.
Did you
That's
hear
all
me cacking? Not cacking.
Cackling.
Whatever.
Yes.
Back there?
Yes, we did.
Hacking. I was hacking.
Oh,
I was nodding my head with the music going ding,
Right?
ding.
Wow.
Well, that too. Yeah, whatever.
It's totally different.
It comes
Happy
out totally on mine.
Tuesday.
Happy
That's
Tuesday.
right.
Yes. It is Tuesday. It's been
We
Tuesday all
have
day.
survived another week. Woohoo!
it has
I
been.
barely survived this past week.
It has been
Oh
the
my
Monday
gosh,
is
I'm
Tuesday.
surprised.
Barely.
I have
Been a
hardly
Monday
had
is
any
Tuesday.
sleep
Sure
the last
has
6
been.
months.
Yes.
We
It's
got,
an eye
At least
what
twitcher.
we got going
At
on?
least it hasn't been
Yes.
2 Mondays in a row. So yeah, I've
well,
had
it's
5 Mondays in a row about 2 weeks ago. It's like, oh
Second Monday.
no,
Oh,
Yeah.
5 Mondays that
no.
week. Yep. Anyway, hi guys.
I don't like that.
No, I don't either.
Thumbs
neither.
down on Monday. Anyhow,
Yes,
that's why it
definitely.
says Tuesday. Tuesday. I always thought Tuesday was great because it was like kind of just it just was kind of like
It's a number
it
day.
was nothing. Well, it was just a whatever day. That's why I like Tuesday because it's like Monday was always terrible. Tuesday was just whatever. Wednesday was hump day. It had its own thing. I didn't want to try to encroach on that. Thursdays was just Pam just disappeared. Whoop. And she and then Friday, people investigate on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. My day, actually not my day, but it's a day I choose to do what I do. And then so it left Tuesdays. And I like Tuesdays. Where'd Pam go? She just
Plus
left.
there's
I
tacos.
don't know. She decided she didn't want to be seen anymore.
I'm
She's
back.
You're
Almost.
back.
Grabbing my iPad.
Oh,
I realized
Pam, the great Swami.
There you are.
Your crystal ball up there.
So we got all these events that are coming on. I know that the Central Kansas Paracon, they put out a speaker list and itinerary for their for that thing. That's pretty good. And I sent that out in place to buy tickets and all that. So it's it looks like it's shaping up to be a pretty fun event. So that's gonna be great. I don't speak till Sunday at 2.
Yeah, I
So
just thought about something. We got to buy tickets for all these things, don't we?
If we have the vendor passes, usually they come with the vendor passes.
Well, usually vendor passes come with entrance for 2.
Yeah.
I'll be there with Border Town too, so I'll be good. I'll be covered on mine.
So you're coming on yours. You didn't get a table.
So
on
I
your
need
own,
to buy
right,
a ticket for.
Yeah, I got a.
No, I have not got a table yet.
Next to you guys.
So, okay. So there you go. You're taken over by the A.M.O.K table because I have my own table. Mine and Tina is paid by that. Pam's getting in with the Border Town table.
Oh, I need to get a table.
So
if I get a table, it would be me and Ken.
I think they're sold out.
Oh my God!
Well, then I'm just stuck with you.
I got the table already for A.M.O.K. So that paid for
you
2
got
people.
2 tickets for you and Tina.
We get those because we're speakers and we have our own table.
Okay.
Math is hard.
I'll shut up now.
Don't ask how many months.
It is.
Don't ask her how far something is away in months. Don't do that. It fried her brain before the show. So I'm just saying.
Y'all, if y'all knew all the lack of sleep I've had the last 2.5 months, I am shocked I am even alive right now because getting only 2 to 3 hours of sleep a night. Oh my geez, you can. I feel my age. I really do.
That's why I had to take a nap today.
If I could have taken a nap, I would have.
I have to take a nap. You sit me in a chair, a comfy chair, and I'm gonna take a nap regardless.
There's been times that I'm sitting in this chair and I'm sitting here like this, looking at something, working on something, and I'm.
Yeah, sorry, Eric.
Just pass out. Like, oh shoot!
Gotta back it up. Back it up.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and stuff that way too. It's been embarrassing. Like, what did I do?
But anyhow, we got any new information on anything else coming up? You're talking about the NOLA thing, but you guys are going to that. So you're all excited about that.
We're stoked on that one.
So
I would say I'm going to Paragold, but Paragold's the same weekend as Bordertown, and I'm not. It would be too.
Yeah, they can't. Well, we can't. Nothing can cover up Bordertown. That's
No.
our holy grail because
nope.
It's
number
because
one.
that's why the show exists.
1 and 2.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that's what I got.
We blame you.
No, yeah.
Yay!
And you.
100%. That is why this show exists because I didn't know there was a border town, and I was like, that's just 2 hours away from.
And I was getting my butt grilled, y'all.
I didn't know there was a Kansas and an Oklahoma. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, didn't know there was a Kansas. Yeah,
this will be our 8th border town. This will be our 8th marathon this year.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is our 4th season. This is our 4th season of A.M.O.K. So that tells you how long it was going on. And here I am 2.5 hours away. That's because I'm sorry. This is airing on Facebook, but Facebook sucks when it comes down to getting that information out, which is why podcasts are great because you talk about things, you hear things, and go, hey, I didn't know about that. And that's another reason why things like Bordertown and the Arkansas Paranormal Expo and all these things are because people who put on events go to those events and they talk about it. So, you don't hear about stuff when you go ghost hunting because you're ghost hunting. We like to get together and yammer and chat about stuff like this. And that's why we do things. That's why we talk to people. Who are we talking to tonight? We're talking to somebody. Come on, I don't know. What you gonna talk about?
To Carol.
I just threw you under the.
Listen to me. I was like so worried I was gonna screw up his last name. So what do I do?
No,
you screw up his first name.
Let's just introduce you to introduce here. So, what's up or who's up, Pam?
What's up? What's
Our
up?
guest tonight is Karl Sup, and
There we go. Got it.
Here. We're so sorry. Take your name. I warned you though. Wow. First time I
We're really
that bad though.
He's a professional with a smile. I saw it before.
Yes. Very nice
He's
guy.
probably dying laughing right now in the background, in the green room going, what the hell?
I'm sure. No. I'm sure.
What there? Where did she come up with Carol? I mean, I can understand Coral, but
good Lord.
That's right.
So sorry.
I guess we'll bring him in. We got it's either Sup or Soup, right? And
it's what's up and who's up?
What's
there,
up?
Mr. Sup.
Woohoo!
I'm so
hey, woohoo! You have now witnessed the whole.
You give me an opportunity. Yeah, you give me an opportunity to have fun. I'm going to do it. So that's right.
Oh, yeah.
I deal with names all the time. You know how much I'd love to have somebody with your name in my waiting room because I just like go so.
Everybody's like, not much. Hey, actually, I've been at places where I introduced myself and I shook somebody's hand and I said Karl Sup and they said, not much. What's up with you?
Nothing much.
Yeah, and I was like,
but I'm bummed.
Yep. True story.
Really
welcome.
All right. Who are you, Karl?
So sorry.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm down in Arizona, so but I've been to every one of your lovely states several times or multiple times, and especially Missouri. I've been there a lot. In fact, I was there last week. So, yep.
Oh, and you didn't say hi?
I didn't know.
Oh man, door was wide open and waiting for you. You never mind.
Yeah, I was in St. Louis. I was in St. Louis, and yeah, so.
Working or visiting or
doing work.
Lost.
Yeah, lost. I was wandering around.
Word.
I woke up there. I don't know what happened. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I woke up there a lot too.
Went through a series of unfortunate events.
Yeah, exactly.
So, what kind of work? We'll throw that out first.
So I'm a software engineer / consultant / data analyst / trainer. So I do a lot of work, but I'm in consulting. So and
Very cool.
That's
doing a lot of work
crazy
for a
boring.
client that's in St. Louis. So
Excellent.
at times
I
it
hope we
can
were
be.
good to you.
Yeah.
I hope we were good to you.
Oh yeah. Oh, always. I've spent a lot of time there and headed off and done a lot of research over in Southern Illinois as well, like the Alton area, and
I'm there all the time.
so, and it's Alton's very haunted, but my fascination really lies more up near the Pierre Marquette.
Great place.
Woods up there near Grafton, and so but at least work takes me traveling, so I get to experience a lot of different paranormal things in a lot of different states, and it's always been a statement of my wife's that she knows that at night I'm not out at a strip club or something. She knows I'm probably out in the woods or out with a K2 meter in a cemetery someplace.
Yeah.
You know,
So
my
that leads
husband's
to
the
the
same
question.
way.
So,
He goes, I ain't got to
Yeah.
worry about my wife. She's either investigating the paranormal or talking to somebody about it.
but that leads to the question:
exactly,
were you interested? Did your job lead you into this, or were you already fascinated with it? How'd you get involved with the paranormal?
Oh, I was as a kid. So when I was about I was probably 6 years old. I actually had a near-death experience, and after that, I've always been very sensitive to just about everything. And of course, it helped that the house I grew up in was haunted by a gentleman who owned the house prior, who ended up dying in the upstairs bedroom. So he continued to haunt the place. And of course, with now that there's Ancestry and newspapers.com and everything else, I've got the entire, and it validates every one of the dreams that I had about him and the and the family that was there and everything else that I kind of witnessed through his eyes in a vivid dream. So but wow. Yeah, he was always closing doors, opening doors. The dog always saw him coming down the stairs, and you could hear the stairs creak as he came down the stairs. It was like uncanny. Of course, now my childhood home has been actually torn down because it was on such a large lot, and they put a big giant McMansion on it. And so I'm just wondering if the brand new house, if he's still following the same pathways and transiting that area. But I've always been fascinated in it.
And
hopefully he got upgraded to that mansion then.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, as a kid, my dad had a subscription to Argosy magazine. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Argosy, but
heard of it.
I remember there was an issue in February of '68 that talked about California's abominable snowman, which AKA the Patterson-Gimlin footage. And so there was photos in there. And I remember reading that article, I don't know, 40 times, but of course in my mind, I kept thinking, they're just, they're probably in just the Pacific Northwest or in Northern California and so forth. And of course, later on, as I hiked and camped all over Arizona, I discovered that is not the case. And plus traveling everywhere, and I would always just go investigate. I'm a big historian. I love history. And I do a lot of research, right? I'm an analyst, right? So I do a lot of digging on things. So before I get out into an area, it's like, how am I going to entertain my evenings, and even on one of my work trips, we got, I actually discovered that the Queen Mary was on my approved hotel list when I was in Long Beach.
Really?
So,
nice.
So I stayed several weeks on the Queen Mary over time, and and it was plus even got talked coworkers into coming out there, and even one of them had an incredible experience that ended up having her check out because she was. I'm not staying another minute in this place. So
wow.
We had an event one time that a guy came and he was only, the event was a couple hours long. He was only in there for maybe a half hour, and he's like, "I've had enough." and left. He sat out in the car waiting for his wife to finish. He didn't want to be there no more. He's one of those people didn't believe, and then he saw something he couldn't deny.
Circuit
So
in his
he's
brain.
like, yeah. So he did a Casper and went ghost and took off. So it was great.
Oh, we had ghost music and a piano playing in a room that was 100% empty and dark. And the moment
I love
I
that.
opened the door, and you could even hear the hammers hitting the strings on the piano. I mean, it was crystal clear. And the people with me all heard it as well. It wasn't just me. And opened the door into that empty ballroom, and the piano music stopped. So it was
that's cool.
That was and even bagpipe music that actually very faintly came in and then raised up. And at first I thought it was water pipe sounds, and then it was distinct bagpipes. It came in, was very loud for about 10 seconds, and then slowly faded out again. It was pretty neat.
Cool.
So
yeah,
this is something that makes me really want to try. Like, if you know how to play a musical instrument, taking a musical instrument with you to some of these locations that plays music, to see if they'll play with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. That's true. I hadn't thought of that, but yeah, I play viola. I actually played with Scottsdale Symphony Orchestra for 8 years.
Oh wow!
So professionally,
you are a man of many trades. Holy cow! The orchestra.
Yep.
Oh my gosh!
Yep. So symphony, I played like eight operas and I don't know how many composer pieces over the years, but but I've taken my viola up into the woods, and I know I've had what shall I say, big people watching me interested in that. So it was quite the time. But
big fuzzy people?
Big fuzzy people, yeah.
Oh, wow, that's cool. Were they tapping on the trees like like the drums or anything like that, or?
No, but when I did finish, though, they did clack some rocks together. So that
well, there you go, perfect.
It was like applause. I'm
awesome.
Assuming, but
how neat! That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. The area I go up to here in Arizona, I honestly feel that they know I'm coming before I actually get up onto the Mogollon Rim to go into the camping area. I just have that feeling that they know, he's coming, because when I pull in, it's like I'm not even. I start unloading a couple lawn chairs, and all of a sudden they'll clack some rocks or
start applauding early,
tap a tree nearby or something, and I'll turn and just go, "Hey guys, I'm here," and so. But they hang around the campsite. I don't even go out and try to attract them anymore, right? Because they just they're there. So
isn't it wonderful to be loved and wanted?
It is
without a number.
Yeah, and it's but it's funny. I had a friend that for about 10 years he heard me talking about Sasquatches, and he was and over time and in multiple states traveling for work, I've had actual sightings in four total states, including Georgia, Missouri twice, once in eastern Missouri, actually near West Alton, Missouri, and then out near Bethany, out in western Missouri. And and out near north of Atlanta, as well as 3 in Illinois, and those were interesting because those were all in forest preserves around Chicago. So right in very very urban areas, but I kind of have a formula I apply at least to figure out where they're living or where they're habitating, and I even applied that when I was stationed. I was not stationed because I'm not in the military, but I was basically living every week. I'd be out in the middle of Long Island, and ended up finding them out on Long Island. And of course, there hadn't been a sighting since 1899 on Long Island. In 1899, there was a newspaper article talking about a wild man that was sighted near Rockaway Beach. you know, and I know right now you're all thinking Ramones song, right? You know, Rockaway Beach, but you know, so I was like, how am I going to go about trying to find them? So I was randomly just hitting different woods in the area in Long Island, and then I got this brilliant idea. I said, you know, I'm going to go look at paranormal websites, ghost hunting websites out on Long Island. Plenty of ghosts out there. So so I looked at some of those websites, and some of them, you know, were talked about, you know, like the mother of a child that died in the 1600s, and she's out in the woods moaning for her child, and
every place has got something like that. We have
right.
one up in Fayetteville, the bridge,
you know, or you know, and then they went to investigate, and rocks materialized from thin air and were thrown at us, and you know, or there was red glowing eyes in the woods and so forth. And I was like,
I love the red glowing eyes. That's good. Yeah.
So I started investigating those areas, right? And I found them, you know, and actually over time, actually started doing gifting with them, where, you know, and initially I was putting out apples, and you know, they were gone the next day or maybe a couple days later, and you know, it's like, no idea, right? Could have been a squirrel, could have been bird, I don't, you know, but there was no remnant of the apple anywhere nearby, right? So I set up a game camera, and it was interesting because the apple was sitting within view of the game camera, and you know, even a leaf twitched like this in the frame, you know, it took pictures and video, right? It's like it's like between 2 and 4 a.m. the apple just simply disappeared. And there was no pictures. At 4 a.m. a leaf twitched, and you know, from some wind, and it took video and pictures, and I'm like, where did the apple go? You know, so that was interesting. So I decided, you know what, I'll just scrap the camera, and so I just started putting the apples out, and pretty soon, the one day I was so excited because I put the apple consistently in this nook of a tree branch, and the one day morning I came out and I looked, and the apple was gone, and in that nook of the branch was a nice polished like quartz stone that was sitting up in that nook. So I was all excited because that was the first gift I ever got. So I took it into work. I took a picture of it, and you know, I sent it off to some of my other researcher friends, and they said, oh no, you should put it back. You should put it back. And I was like, okay, you know, I think it wanted me to have it, you know, but I was like, okay. So I went back at lunchtime. I went and put the stone back in the woods there, and but after I put it in that nook, I decided, you know what, maybe I'll just put it on this broken stump about 20 feet away. So I put it over there on the broken stump, and then I went back to work. Well, after work, I get off work, I go back in, I go get some apples, I come back out to reload my apples, and the stone isn't on the stump anymore. It's back up in the nook where I left the thing.
It was yours then.
It was mine, right? So after that, there was a total exchange. It was feathers, it was fossils, it was all kinds of things that were left for me in exchange for the apples. But the best one was, though, it was just similar right now, where New York's getting pounded with snow. It was a huge snow event there over the weekend, and then I flew in. I was doing work. I went back out there the one night, and it was probably 10 degrees out, snow piled up, you know, and I was going to hike into the woods and do my, you know, due diligence, right? And I had 2 apples because I figured they'd probably need the extra calories, and I started walking in, and I didn't even get one step into the woods, and there was a branch, I swear 2-inch diameter branch, just probably 50 feet away from me. And I stopped dead in my tracks, and I just of course stunned a little bit, right? But I held up the 2 apples, and I just said, these are for you, and then I rolled them into the woods, right? So the hotel that I was staying at wasn't even a quarter mile away, and so I got back in the car, I drove over to the hotel, I parked it. In the morning, I was giving my 2 coworkers a ride into work. We head out to my rental car in the parking lot at the Marriott, and sitting on top of the driver's side roof is a fossil sitting on top of the car.
Huh.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
pretty cool.
So overnight,
cool.
came over there and left me a gift. So I thought
Wow.
that was
Wow. How wow.
incredible.
Did you say there was snow?
Oh
Did you
yeah,
say
there was snow.
So maybe it was not a warning, a bad warning, but it was a warning that don't come any closer because you could get hurt.
Yeah.
That could be too. Could be
be.
too.
Yeah,
It certainly
and
woke me up.
And it was grateful for the for your attempt, but
How do
it's
you give
like,
it?
no,
How do you
don't
give
come
a
any
safety
closer 'cause
briefing?
you
Right.
could-
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
So I have a
that's really
question.
cool.
What do you
Sure.
do you have any ideas about what would make them know that you're coming before you get there?
I don't know. It's just a sensation I have. So and it didn't used to be that way. So before I'd go out there and I would do all the standard BFRO techniques, doing calls and whoops and making noises, knocking on, but in 2013, actually, I was helping out on a BFRO expedition in 2013 up in Arizona on the Mogollon Rim, and that was right near Mother's Day weekend, which I just don't encourage you to go out on Mother's Day weekend, when you're married and you have kids, and so anyway, that I had arrived up there a little late on the Thursday, and so the only spot that was really open that I could pitch my tent in was kind of on the outskirts of the campsite, and it was closer to the edge of the woods, and I had a big air mattress in there, queen size air mattress with a headboard on it, and my sleeping bag and everything. Overnight though, it really got really cold, so it was probably in the mid 20s at least, and I don't know, everybody thinks Arizona, oh, what are you sweating, it's like, no, we have very high mountains. Half the state is forest. So I actually ended up rigging a thing where I put on a baseball cap, and then I had a towel that I put kind of over my face, because I just couldn't sleep because my ears kept freezing off. So kind of made a makeshift tent over my face, right? But in order to keep it all propped up, I leaned my head up against the headboard. So more like a pillow, but apparently the back of my head was leaning up against the tent material, because about 3 a.m, I wake up and my shoulders are actually off the tent, off the bed, off the so I realize I'm kind of half in midair. I'm bent at the waist, right? And then I realize that something is cupping my head.
Oh my gosh!
And as I started waking up and moving a little bit, it slowly let me down again. And as it did that, I could hear like dermal ridges on the tent material go zoop, and then I heard bipedal walk away from the tent.
I'm gone.
And a lot of people would be terrified. I propped up and I unzipped my window on the tent so I could look out to see. But yeah.
Curiosity,
that would be me too.
Yeah, but like
especially
I said,
if something was holding on to me, I'd be wanting to look and see what the heck it was too.
Right. Oh,
was it the neighbor? Oh my god!
It was not my neighbor at 3 a.m. It was whatever did not have light walking off, but I could hear it walking off, and I could, couldn't really see anything in the dark. But yeah, but after that moment though, and prior to that, when I went out investigating, camping, and I'd get rocks thrown at me. I'd get, sticks and and so forth. And after that point, I've never had a rock or a stick thrown at me ever since then.
Thrown at you or just near you? Because there's a difference.
Well, no, a couple of the small ones actually hit me in the back, but
okay.
But I've had an extremely large. In 2010, I was hiking by myself near a cave system that's actually on the Mogollon Rim, and I was by myself, and I found a 16 by 6 inch print, and it was fantastic. I mean, it was castable, and I had casting material in my day pack and everything, and I took a camera out. I started measuring and taking reference photos and doing all my detailed and analyst scientific reporting on it. And as I'm bent over, very prone, taking these photos, suddenly I hear this big thud, and it was probably 20 feet from me. And I glance up to where the thud was, and here's this rock that was larger than a shot put. That I just saw it go boom, 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 and it bounced. That thing, and the only place it could have come from was about 120 feet away from this ridge line, where up above this cave area, and
heck of an arm.
And heck of an arm. I mean, 120 feet throwing this giant rock, right? So, what would you do if you're in there? Would you get out your casting material and start casting? No. I took the pictures. I stood up and I said, "I'm sorry. I'm going to leave right now." And I packed up all my stuff and I hiked back out to my car.
See, I don't know how I'd act in that, because I'm not a Bigfoot hunter. I'm not big out in the wild, and it's only because out here I always have fun with it, but I'm like really just nervous about ticks. They have ticks out here, and they'll make you allergic to meat. But Arizona, I don't think you have those same ticks. I'd probably do it out there.
In fact, I've never gotten a tick in Arizona.
See, I got family in Prescott, so it's about 2 hours about that from where you're talking about. So, but they're always out there in the woods and stuff and having fun. So I think I'd probably do that. If somebody threw a rock at me, I don't know. I get kind of indignant. I think I'll be like,
especially the big rocks.
Well, that was the biggest rock.
Punk.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was.
But I wouldn't be out there unarmed either. So
I mean, with the exact, with that accuracy, right? I mean, he could have just beamed me right in the head, and that would have been it for me, right?
Yeah, but that was just a warning shot.
Made it. It was a warning shot, and I took it as such. But I've had guys that there's an area actually in the desert where along the lower Salt River, just east of Phoenix, that there's a clan of them there, and they've come to get used to me there. But I know there was a lot of fishermen ended up writing me some reports that where they actually were out there late at night fishing on the river, and something was throwing large rocks in, and enough that it actually cavitated the wall. You could hear that rock hit the bedrock of the river, and then finally the guy said, he got up and he said, he's scaring all the fish, and of course he's probably fishing right in the area where they like to fish, right? So he's trying to scare them off, and but he said that he said, if you throw one more rock, I'm gonna I'll shoot you. And another rock came flying in, so he took out his gun and he fired into those reeds. Now I'm not talking about this is a Yahoo kind of guy, right? And he unloaded a clip into that brush across the river where the rocks were coming from, and it went all quiet for about 5 minutes, and then another rock came flying. So I was like, don't do that, right? But I found a lot of interesting things in that research area as well. But
have you tried any?
They can live in the desert, right?
That is kind of cool, though. There's probably something out there that they can,
we have them
hide in or whatever. Well, I mean, there's some just outside of St. Louis near Six Flags area in the the Ozark trees, the forest right there. But have you tried any experiments of just trying to communicate, just sitting there quietly and trying to communicate with them telepathically? And has it worked?
So that's a very.
Or do you think it might have? Or do you think it might have worked?
Well, it did work. So,
okay.
I was always, I'm a science guy, and I was always very cautious about there was reports, right? And I certainly would never discount anyone's reports, right? Every report's a data point, whether or not the person's a bad witness, there could be a grain of truth in that or whatever. Just like if they're reporting, right? Oh, I'm seeing this. Okay, well, those were data points, right? And I use those data points and apply them elsewhere. But the it was I was so I could never, I never was in what people call the woo camp as far as Sasquatch go, but I was actually in St. Louis in 2019, and I wanted to go hit a couple areas that I was interested in. One was near Edwardsville, Illinois, and so the woods were very. It was kind of a lowland, but it was a large section of woods, and I was like, okay, I think they're probably living in here. So I went out there, and of course, this was June of 2019 when the Mississippi River was flooding. I don't know if you remember that or not, Ken, but it was
floods a lot, but yeah, it wasn't
it flooded.
One, but yeah.
It flooded Alton. Yeah, Alton was flooded.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But so anyway, I went down to that area, and I get down to those woods, and of course, the road that I was going to take going into those was flooded. I couldn't get in there. Yeah, it just the water table was so high, I couldn't get in there with my meager rental car. Thank you, work. But I was so I got out. Yeah, so so I parked the car on the side of the road, right near the woods, and there was no traffic on the roads at all or whatever. But I get out of the car, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll do a call and see if I get a response. And then before I even did that, I thought to myself, this is a good time for an experiment, right? So I actually only thought to myself, if you're in the woods, if you're in these woods, could you knock for me? Right? It wasn't even within probably 30 seconds. Knock out of the woods. And all I did is I thought. And I thought to myself, thank you. And then in my head, I hear, go in peace.
Yeah.
And with that, I was like, wow. Okay. So I got back in the car. I drove down to the other area that I wanted to go into. And sure enough, that area was flooded also.
Okay.
So a good science experiment, right? Do it, make it repeatable. Mm-hmm. So I get out of the car, I stand on the side of the road, and I think to myself, if you're in these woods, knock. Well, it wasn't even 5 seconds after I thought that I hear something bipedal sloshing through the water, and then I hear this, what sounds like either a very wet hand slapping a tree or a stick that was waterlogged hitting a tree. But as it hit the tree, I could actually hear water droplets.
Or the body of another Bigfoot hunter.
Yeah. It could have been. Yeah, it could have. Yeah, could have been using Patrick Duffy as anyway. That's a South Park reference, but anyway. Yeah. So then I think, okay, I'll do a little more, right? As he did that, I didn't say thank you. I said, I thought to myself, what are you doing in there? And the thought that comes into my head is catching frogs, which surprised me, right? And then I played back my previously learned lesson. I thought to myself, go in peace, right? And then I hear back, go in peace, right? And I'm like, so I got back in my car and I drove back up to Alton, and I went and I had a nice Guinness at Morrison's Irish Pub.
Morrison's Irish Pub, yeah.
Nice.
That's a good place.
So it is a great place. I know the owners very
well.
So.
It's small but fun, yeah.
Fun, especially Thursday nights if you go there for the
I haven't been up there on a Thursday.
Along. Oh, go on to Thursday. Go
Thursday
on to Thursday.
Night? Okay.
Yep.
So you think you're psychically communicating with a Bigfoot?
Oh yeah, and I've tried this one other time, where I mean, I know some people call it mind speak. It was just like a random thought in my head that I knew wasn't mine. Right.
And you'll get an
But I
answer.
don't,
Yep.
I don't understand this because I'm thinking, yeah, you would speak your language, you would hear "Ooh, ah, ah," or something like that.
Yeah. No, it was well, and
not,
I've spoken to
not,
them in English.
not going peace. I don't get that.
Yeah.
I just have but
I
I
don't
guess
know
we
if
have a
it's
universal
translated or
translator.
yeah. Well, the interesting thing.
But,
So yeah, I have a cousin that has a farm up near Eldred, Illinois. I don't know if you know where that is, Ken, but it's
Which
up
one?
near
Eldred?
yeah, it's near Carrollton. It's on the Illinois
Yeah,
River.
yeah. I've been up to Carrollton. Yeah, that's up
Yeah,
by
and
Ashmore Estates.
yep, and
Not
there's
too far. Yeah.
and they have this huge farm. It's almost 1,000 acres, and they have bluffs on it and so forth. And 2013, I was actually went to go visit my cousins. And actually, I'm 6'5", and that's really the only place on the planet I go to, and my nickname is Shorty because my cousins are the shortest one is 6'5", and then they go up from there 6'8", 6'11",
Holy
7'1".
cow.
Yeah.
Dang.
And so anyway, so I'm up there visiting, and I'm in this. They have some cabins there, and I'm staying in one of the cabins. And about 3 a.m, I hear something creaking, walking onto the front porch deck of the cabin, and the front window had a curtain on it, a very thin curtain, and I could see just from the moonlight, I could see a shadow that kind of blocked out the whole window. And then it walked over, it tried the doorknob, and then it walked around the back side of the cabin, which had all kinds of brush and thick growth and everything. I mean, place you would never walk, right? And then, of course, the window behind me on the bed didn't have a curtain on it, right? So I could see a shadow across the bed looking at me for about 5 minutes, and then it walked off, and I could hear it walking off, but it was definitely bipedal, right? So fast forward to 2023, I'm visiting the cousins there, and I'm in the cabin, and I'm hoping that I get a visit again, right?
Yeah.
And I don't get a visit. I don't get a visit, so I'm kind of disappointed. So in the morning, I'm walking from the cabin over to the main farmhouse, and I'm walking down the dirt road, and oh, bless you. And I'm thinking to myself, I wonder if I'm being watched, because here's this 300-foot or bluff that rises up right there, right? And I turned and I looked up there, and I thought to myself, I'm wondering if I'm being watched. And as I as I thought to myself, and it was a perfectly still, beautiful blue sky morning, no wind, anything. As I thought that to myself, this one single tree goes
Nice.
on the side of the bluff, and I just kind of went like this, like, oh, you guys, kind of thing. And I walk about 4 or 5 more steps. I turn back, right? Science, right? I think to myself, do that again. And that same tree, almost instantly. And I laughed, and then I just went in and had breakfast,
Oh.
That's cool.
But yeah, those are
cool.
very interesting things, and like I said, it really solidified, okay, there is something to this, right? I mean, it's been, I've repeated it, and I do know that there are absolutely a physical being. Now, whether or not they travel through portals or a cloak of invisibility or anything of the other things, which I have not experienced, although, like I said, the apple just simply disappearing from the game camera was intriguing, right?
And not actuating the camera, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That was surprising, but so
because even if it was Harold, the wino down the street taking it, it should have caught him, right?
Oh yeah, it would have caught. Yeah.
So yeah, Ben.
Well, and it was interesting in those woods in
Ninja Big Feet.
That they, you would think, especially if they're surrounded by urban areas there on Long Island, it was a very large wooded area, so 1,100 acres plus, right? And I did find some trash piles, Now you would think trash piles that have food items and so forth, whatever. Yeah, all the trash piles I found had empty water bottles, and some of them had water in them. Well, there really wasn't a good water source in this wooded area, this big county park. There wasn't a creek or anything like that. But the surrounding areas had a lot of springs and stuff. And what they were doing is taking these water bottles that they'd find or that had been discarded, and overnight filling up water bottles. So they had water stashes everywhere, which was really interesting. But if it was a homeless encampment, right, there'd be food wrappers and everything else.
Well, they're not usually known to be tidy areas. So but that's kind of weird. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't use the scientific approach, but I've actually tried those experiments that you just did a couple of times. I did Mena, Arkansas, and somewhere near Springfield, Illinois. So in between, that's kind of an area between Springfield and where you were at, up in Carrollton area. And I've gotten responses back. I've actually seen something down in, actually 2 images down in Mena, Arkansas. That was pretty amazing. So, but I was going to say, the next time you're up in the Illinois area in that region, just as another experiment, just ask if there is a Bigfoot there. Supposedly it's an ancient one by the name of Gunther.
Gunther, okay.
Gunther, yeah, because a lot of my friends actually have experienced this particular Bigfoot near the Springfield area, just north and west of it. And the name that this being gave to them was Gunther, and they experience them all the time. He visits them all the time up in the little wooded area behind their houses. So it's kind of interesting. And I know I've actually seen, which is, you guys are, Adrian's going to laugh, but I've actually seen, you're going to laugh, because I've actually seen the spiritual image of, he showed himself to me. And it's like, oh my God, this is so freaking cool. And it was just like a 2 to 5 seconds, and then he was gone. But because we were talking about him, and here it's just poof, here he is. And I'm like, holy moly. So yeah, and I'll get things thrown into my mind also, as far as, telepathically, from not just ghosts and, but even from other beings. So you have aliens, Bigfoot. So it's been crazy. But yeah, that's really cool what you're saying. I love it. Yeah, and I love the experiments you're doing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've like I said, I've always had a very inquisitive mind, right? So, and like I said, I don't discount anything, right? So it's we all learn from different events and a lot of different experiences other people have had, and if we can apply something to that and learn from that, that's really what science is all about, right? It's like Isaac Newton, right? We stand upon the shoulders of giants, right?
Yes.
And maybe literally, right? No.
Yep.
But that's the thing with me. You talk about me laughing, because I'm very skeptical, and I've seen a lot of things. I know things are out there, but it's still hard for me to take that step, and on some things. And like Bigfoot, I think of Bigfoot as like, I think if because I've not seen it, I don't know if there is such a thing as Bigfoot, which I'm inclined to, the possibility is there. It's a animal. That's the way I look at it. So if you can, that's why I have a hard time with the communicating part. If you I would use the term woo-woo. So do you have this ability any other time? I mean, like with ghosts or
at times with ghosts, yeah, definitely.
So you say you have an ability of some sort?
Yes. Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, there's no doubt.
Okay.
And it's interesting, but a lot of my experiences with that really come from vivid dreams, where I have been in dreams where I've woken up, where I've been, let's say, in a field of flowers, and I, or daisies, and I wake up and I can smell the daisies. Well, now you would think, well, it's just a remnant that you're whatever, except it's like I would get up and go, hey, could you smell my pajamas? And they're like, oh, it smells like daisies, and it's like,
don't do this at hotels during your travels.
yeah, no.
Okay.
If that happens when I'm at a hotel, I'm not chasing down a maid or anything to.
Hey, come here, smell me.
Can you come up here and smell me?
Smell me now.
Room service. Yeah. No, that's funny. No, I always wonder because I know there are things out there that I've not seen or witnessed, and I've witnessed stuff that I haven't seen again. So I know I just don't. I have no ability, so I have a hard time wrapping my mind around that. But I would just wonder that.
I understand, and it's funny because I've had somebody actually suggested to me. They said, well, the next time you're out in the woods, ask them to leave a handprint on your car, right? And I was like, okay, in English, yeah. So I was like, okay. So I slept inside my I've got a Yukon XL. I'm 6'5". I need the extra length there to stretch out back there. So I get so I'm sleeping in there, and right before I climbed in, I looked up to an area that was a hillside above the campsite, which I felt like we were being watched from all night. But and I just said, I would love it if you could come down here and put a handprint on my car. That's all I said. And then I went in, climbed. I said, good night, climbed in, closed the door, stretched out, fell asleep. Right. So 3 a.m. in the morning, I wake up. I'm wearing a Fitbit, and the Fitbit had a little gap between my arm and the back of the Fitbit. Well, as I was stirring, waking up about 3 a.m. for some reason, right, the watch lit up because I moved, and so the green light illuminated the inside of the car, and 14 inches from my face, just right almost against the window, here's this face looking in the window at me. and as I looked at it, it just backed away into the darkness and just faded away, right? And of course, I propped up on my elbow and I started looking out there to see if I could, from the starlight, see if I could see any shadows in between the trees and so forth. I didn't see anything, right? And after I looked for probably 15 minutes, I laid back down, went back to sleep. But
I had to find a higher spot to lay down in because the spot that I was in would not be dry. If I saw inside my window.
so when people ask me, they're like, "What's your closest encounter?" I go 14 inches. There's glass in between, but nevertheless. But 5:15, pre-dawn light. It's starting to get brighter outside. I wake up, and on that window, right where the face had been, is this handprint that was 14 inches from the tip of the pinky down to the base of the thumb. So you can get out your rulers, right? And you can see dermal ridges in part of the print and so forth, right? And the tip of the pinky itself was 1.25 inches wide. So just that first what is that called? The distal phalange or something. Anyway, but just the very tip was 1.25 inches wide. So I get up, and of course I document the handprint, and I'm taking all kinds of photos and everything, and I'm all excited. My friend who was sleeping in his Suburban, not far away from me, he wakes up because he hears me rustling around and stuff, and he gets out, and then he goes and he checks. I go, check your car, and he goes over to check his car, and on the hood of his car, in the fine dust, right in the center of his hood, is a handprint. But this handprint was only 11 inches from the tip of the pinky down to the base of the thumb. And it was interesting because you could actually see that. You see how the center of your hand is a cup, in it, whatever. You could see all of the dermal ridges and palm lines and everything else in that fine dust. And not only that, but on the edge of the hand and along the wrist, you could see fine hairs that had made an impression in the dust as well.
Nice.
But it was, so it was actually two different individuals. So a smaller individual, maybe a female, and a male, the one that was looking in at me. So
that's pretty cool.
That's really
Hey,
good.
earlier you mentioned something about being a scientist. You kind of have data points. Do you track those data points?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, like a map or something, little pins everywhere. Are they dots or?
We're sightings, and plus I've got a really, really good memory too. But yes, I do have a journal that I keep with a lot of that in there, and and I definitely will be converting that into. And plus, I did a lot of blogging out on a website called ghosthuntingtheories.com. So if you go out there and take a look at that website, and in the search box, search my name, and you'll find a lot of the research and the details of a lot of these remote things, especially Chicago and Long Island. So,
well, you mentioned BFRO. They have places that you can log this stuff down into as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they have areas where you can log your sightings in there and stuff, but it's not.
And I do like that about the Bigfoot organizations, because they corroborate a lot of and stuff, and the team more so than the ghost hunting community, because the ghost hunting community is all like, it's my stuff, not yours.
My stuff.
Well, it's interesting. I do maintain Bobby Short's volume of work from her lifetime. Sadly, she's passed away, but Bobby had a website, BigfootEncounters.com, and I actually maintain that website. I've tried to rewrite it several times in more modern web interface, but it's like 3,500 pages, and I am not retired, so it's currently it's still in its original 1994 or 1995 HTML. But the data itself that's out there is invaluable for researchers. So if I encourage you to go out there and browse through that as well. So
that's cool.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
Yep.
Well, we're at the end of the show. What I need you to do now is to plug yourself as well as you can. Like, how would people reach you, tell you stuff? And do you, any events you might be doing coming up? Anything or project you've got coming?
Sure. So I am actually, I'm working on a documentary right now. It's actually based on the Oklahoma-Texas border, and it was in regards to the Mike and Sandy Sells site, and their farm and their prolonged encounters with a clan of Bigfoot there, which I believe the documentary itself is going to blow everybody's mind. I mean, here I've got a footprint right here of one of the casts from their site.
Wow.
So,
wow!
Yep, and you can see the toes on that. Look at that.
Correct. Yeah.
Digging in.
Yeah. Looks like it was digging in.
Yeah.
Yep. But that documentary is going to be called The Sometime Place.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
So wait till you see that, and that's actually what the Bigfoot called the area they would go to. Nice. And actually, I learned a lot from that experience and that research there. And I maintain a large collection of all the casts and videotapes of the other researchers that actually did work on that site for years. So I have that entire collection here as well. So my office is loaded. But
cool.
And then I'm also going to be having a segment in an upcoming documentary called Sasquatch Legend Meets Science 2, and that should be talking about the blood sample that I collected, which is currently in DNA testing.
Oh,
That's
interesting.
Right on.
So will this be on TV or on web or what? Will this be on these documentaries?
I believe it'll probably I know the Sasquatch Legend Meets Science 2 maybe it's being produced by Doug Haycheck, who makes the Monster Quest series. And so it very likely will be on History Channel, I would imagine.
Okay.
So
we'll watch for that.
That's coming up.
That'd be
And
cool.
like I said, I will be assembling a book. So
Right.
I've got a couple of invites, I think, to a few Bigfoot conferences. And last year I did the Minnesota Bigfoot conference in October, and that was a great experience. But we'll see what comes through in the next few months. So
Sounds
All right.
awesome.
No, best of luck to you.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
definitely.
This has been great.
All right, been a good show. Glad to have you on. That was really cool.
Yes,
A lot
it
of stuff.
was.
Give me
Fascinating
stuff to
stuff.
think about. Anyway.
Right?
We got-
Definitely.
Don't go away. We're gonna send you back to the great the
Gray
green room.
Yeah,
the gray room.
The gray room. But I had aliens on my head apparently.
Yeah.
So
Oh, we didn't even talk about aliens.
do
Yeah.
that. Don't go
I
away,
know. We're
'cause
gonna have
we'll
to have
talk-
you back
we'll talk-
on.
Yeah. Sure.
We'll talk about you and then we'll talk to you again just a few minutes.
Sounds
all
great.
right?
Sounds great.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
asking.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Very
That was funny.
fast.
I don't know. He's not the only one who talked about mentally conversing with big
He's
feet.
not. That's
I'm
interesting.
gonna have to. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to
I don't know.
research
Like I
that
said,
more, 'cause I've never
I-
seen a Bigfoot, so I don't know.
Well, I don't know. And I go, just the speakers that we've heard, they always say they sound like animals. And I think if you could talk with a Bigfoot, what can you go talk to the gorillas at the zoo?
Well, because they're not big feet. They're not Bigfoot. They're gorillas.
Yeah, but it's an animal to animal.
They don't speak in tongues. I look at it like they're speaking in tongues. Basically, you know,
Okay.
where
Oh.
they can speak a
So-
language
so there's
that you
some
can
kind of human-
understand. And
Some kind of human DNA.
Humanoid.
you're
Yeah.
thinking?
I think
yeah.
they are like a mammal, but they do have other traits
Of course,
that
they're a mammal. Otherwise, you'd find Bigfoot
Well,
eggs.
look at some of the chimpanzees though that have learned how to do
Correct.
sign language and stuff and communicate
Yeah,
with us that way. I mean,
is true.
Do things.
who
Of course.
knows?
But I'm saying,
Porpoises.
if you could talk to one creature, you should be able to talk to other creatures. That's all I'm saying.
Well, maybe
But
they
There
don't want
is
to
a
talk.
pet
I digress.
medium that can do that.
Maybe they don't want to talk to us.
Oh no!
'Cause we're
Don't
boring.
even start. I hear you talking about it. Y'all giddy. I'm sitting there going, wah wah.
Yeah,
Anyhow,
instead of
I can see
Uh,
a little
conversation
thought
for
process
another-
there.
Yeah.
that's a conversation for another time. Who do you got for next
Bob
week?
Anderson is next
Bob
week.
Anderson,
nice.
and
Yep.
and he's going to be on our show, and then I think after that we're supposed to be on his show about an hour later.
Oh yeah, that's
That's him?
right. The same night.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
same night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss Will Trent that night.
Don't you have a recorder?
DVR.
I do, but I like this. It's my favorite show.
Aw.
And if you haven't watched Will Trent, start at season 1, episode 1, and you'll
Will
fall in love with
Trent.
Betty. Anyhow,
It is a great
I'm just
show.
saying, Will
I'll
Trent.
have to watch it. I
It's
haven't
a
watched
great
it yet.
show.
Yeah, you'd like it.
I thought,
Oh, cool.
so I'm gonna go watch the Will Trent now. See you guys. See you
Bye,
next week.
y'all.
And all
Bye,
that
guys.
stuff. Bye. I hit the button. There we go.
Goodbye.
Adrian, Scout, Arkansas, Ken Rambo, Missouri, Honolulu, Oklahoma, Pamela, Ernest, Kansas.
Now read the next one.
Thank you,
Thank
followers,
you.
subscribers.
Followers, subscribers,
YouTube.
YouTube.
President elect,
Yeah,
Danny
yeah,
Keller,
yeah,
Russ,
Violet
Chris,
Upper,
Chris,
yeah,
Chris,
Darryl
Chris,
Green,
Chris,
Truck
Chris,
King,
Katie,
Emperor,
Nick,
Dale
Beth, Stuff,
Jackson,
Terminator, Big Supply Farm, Shannon,
Hey, hold the nature.
Tammy, like any
Hey,
holes.
Twitch.
Oh,
What's up,
fucking
Graham?
bubble geek.
What's up,
Holy
Graham?
crap. Holy crap.
I'm
Incognito.
Come on, let's hear it.
Hallelujah.
Started.
Thank you.